Hello everyone, my name is Brendan McLaughlin and I am 38 years old. I've been married to my wife for almost 8 years and I'm also the father of a 10-year-old son and a 4-year-old daughter. For my introduction speech, I would like to talk to you briefly about the last 10 years of my life, which consisted of starting a family, going back to school, and ultimately switching careers. 10 years ago, my wife and I welcomed our first child into the world. At the time, I was employed as a chef in a busy Philadelphia restaurant. I was your typical chef who works 6 days a week and over 10 hours a day. I didn't complain. I loved my job. This routine eventually became too much for me to handle, as I was not seeing my newborn son or my wife. I was basically an absentee father and husband. This really bothered and upset me. I was so excited to be a father, yet I barely had time to see my son. This continued until my son was roughly 18 months old. Eventually, I had enough. I didn't love my job anymore. My goal of owning my own restaurant was now dead. I wanted a normal life so I could spend time with my family. My wife and I talked it over, and that's when I decided to go back to school. I enrolled in a few classes at the Community College of Philadelphia, and so my journey began. Now was the hard part. What am I going to study? What kind of career do I want to be in? I was now contradicting myself because on top of my 60-hour-a-week work schedule, I was now juggling 2 classes a semester and still trying to find time to spend with my family. After completing my first semester and speaking with a few counselors, I decided that I wanted to study nursing and become a registered nurse. I always felt the need to want to help people, so it was a no-brainer for me. Helping people is like therapy for the soul. It gives you a sense of self-worth. I obviously wanted to be entrenched in a successful, well-paying career, but I also wanted to feel good about myself. By the time I was 35, I finished my prerequisite courses and was accepted to the Abington Memorial Dixon School of Nursing. Going to nursing school was now happening. It was also at this time that I needed to find a new job. Working in a restaurant would not give me the freedom to go to school in the evenings and complete my clinical rotation on the weekends. Through some aggressive networking, I was able to land a job as a corporate chef with hours that coincided with my needs for school. Wow, did I get lucky. I still can't believe it all worked out. I honestly don't know what I would have done. Like a lot of couples nowadays, my wife and I depend on 2 incomes. If I didn't land this job, I might have never started nursing school. I started nursing school in September of 2014. I reflected back at all the classes I took at community college, thinking how I would never get to this point, yet now here I was. Nursing school would become a rite of passage. This is where I met a lot of new friends, people just like me. Most of my class was employed full-time and was also trying to raise a family. I now had some perspective that I was not the only one making sacrifices. We were all in the same category. When I first started at community college, I was usually one of the oldest students in class. Being in my early 30s, I didn't have much in common with the younger students. Now I was in a classroom of my peers, and with their help, I was able to get through nursing school. In school, I was also able to form numerous friendships with a lot of my classmates because we did have so much in common. We bonded over clinical experiences and shared drinks after our finals. We pushed each other to study harder. We talked about our kids and our spouses. We were a very tight-knit group. All in all, nursing school is one of the most positive experiences in my life. Today, almost 2 years after graduation, I still keep in touch with quite a few of my classmates. I graduated in September of 2016. It was a great achievement. My wife and children were very proud of me. The sacrifices I made finally paid off. I passed the boards a few months later, and I accepted my first job as a registered nurse just last week. So to say the last 10 years have been crazy would be an understatement, but it was well worth it. I'm in the process of completing my final 9 credits this semester and will graduate with my Bachelor's of Science in Nursing in May of this year. So to sum it up, in the last 10 years, I became a father, a husband, and a registered nurse. I learned a lot about myself over the last decade. I proved that determination and hard work will pay off if you put in the necessary effort. I also learned how to manage my time properly. Although I spent a lot of time away from my family, the time I did spend with them was more valuable and much more appreciated. I'm looking forward to just working in the foreseeable future, but I know that my journey with school is not over. I plan on researching some graduate programs with the hopes of returning to school in about 2 years. So it turns out that this may not be the ending, but it just may be another beginning. Thank you.